Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. And hey, Jen Lou. And we're waiting on Crime Curious. She'll be here in just a few minutes. Hey, Jen.
Hey, babe. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am good. We had great success today at getting the prom dress, and I just want to thank you for encouraging me and speaking up for me last night. And I want to thank everybody who donated. She loves her dress. We found one that she absolutely is in love with, and she looks beautiful, you guys, and I can't wait. So
Oh,
thank you to all of you guys for
you are
helping.
so
I
welcome.
appreciate it so much.
You deserve it. You have been, I'm sorry, but you see so many people, like we talked about, that just ask for all the things all the time. And you have been doing real true crime work, digging into cases, even when they're not popular for years and not asking for help ever. And I think I'm so happy that it all worked out. I can't wait for her to go.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to see.
Um, so I'm gonna say hi to you guys real quick. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Annie O. She's so happy she got a dress she loves. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Dee. Hey, Music City Mom. Oh, she just got a wedding dress for her daughter. Those are big moments in their
Oh,
life.
those are big moments. That's
Um,
huge. I love that.
Hey, Carrie G. Hey, Peace Dog. Karen, Batty, K Brace. Hey, C Star. 22 Tantrums. Joyce, D, Jen Joya, Connie. Angels Lie to Keep Control. Debbie, Jane Doe, Alibi, Shortcake, Nicole. Thank you guys for being here. Cool Gamer, my Nadine, Miss Michael, Sav, Jackie, Mrs. O, Bodine, Jackie Kerr, everybody that came over. Thank you guys. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody. The doctorate thing, I was actually really surprised to hear that she had done pretty much all of the work. However, she technically didn't do it all correctly, right? It's because I don't
Sure
know
didn't.
what is a dissertation?
It's, I'm not I
Like a
feel
big
like it's,
or a
yeah,
project.
it's like the thing that you work, yeah, that it's, I think you have to study something or maybe like, it's like a long research paper and you write it up and then you have to defend it in front of like a board, I think. I don't
Okay.
know because y'all know me. I got my good enough diploma. So
22
I don't,
tantrums. Will you tell us? Because I know you know 22
yeah,
tantrums.
you know.
Mom to Angel, we love you too. Hey, Carol Claus. And hey, Chloe's mom, welcome. All you guys that came, thank you guys for coming. And yeah, welcome. Hey, Joyce, welcome. Thank you for joining. The word
Yay.
dissertation scares me. A huge original research project. Okay, that makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking. But I think she did as much as I've done as of right now. I just applied for information from Liberty for the doctoral program. Okay, it's major work. Well, you guys,
I know it's huge.
today was a big day. We had Kevin Clark on the stand. He's the last witness for the prosecution. And okay, so I took some notes, but I honestly thought this is stuff I think we need to go over. And tonight we're going to play the Google searches first. I'll go through a little bit of notes and talk to you and Jennifer. And then maybe another time we can do the timeline because that timeline was so well done. It answers questions that we had about when Al
Mhm.
Gannon and all the things because they actually did not speak. Remember, we were curious if they ever spoke
Yes.
on the phone that night. Yeah, they did not. So I really want to go through all those points. It's original research project where you collect and analyze original data with a goal of contributing something new to the field. Okay. Preschool granny. No, we only had FBI agent Kevin Clark. So he basically got on there and, he is a expert in cell phone data analysis and crime analysis. He first gets into why the phone was named under maybe Nicole, which was, he says, was, iPhones do that. They'll make a guess at someone's contact name, or it'll say maybe Nicole, or say you message someone and in your text, it's, hey, this is Alex. Here's my number. iPhone will automatically put their name in as maybe Alex. It's just how it works. Something interesting though before they got into the timeline. Jen, did you see they start showing, remember, she says that she left in the vehicle for a few minutes and after the fire or in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it shows her when she does actually leave in the middle of the night. It was actually 6:21 a.m. So early
It was
morning.
right after she right after she got Lena on the bus. Or right. Yes.
Or right before.
Right before. But I actually think that it was right after. I think she got Lena on the bus because I don't think she could take a chance.
Well,
Like
it
she
said
had to.
they said at 6:21 the Tiguan left for 10 minutes at 6:21 a.m. So would that be
Okay.
before she was up?
I know that she talked about it. Letecia talked, but see, she talks about so many things that mean nothing. You know,
Well, we're
so
going to go
sometimes
through
I'd be dry. I just kind of block it out sometimes. I'm sorry.
But see, this is actually not the night of the fire. This is the night of the 28th. So after the cops came,
Okay. Okay. Now that's different. That's a different day.
Yep. And so
Okay.
she backs the car into the garage. After that, the garage door opens and they have video footage from across the street. You can see the light on inside. You can see people moving around. And I think this is the point where she puts Gannon in the vehicle to take him off. The timeline was brilliantly done. I think we'll just go through the timeline instead of, talking about it. That way we can pause along the way. But today we'll do the Google searches first because they were quite interesting.
Everything.
Yes, and timestamps.
Plus, I didn't get to hear the Google searches because you guys know I was otherwise engaged. And so I'm very, very interested in, all of those things because, as you guys know, I'm no fan of Letecia. And so any chance to point out her guiltiness, I live for.
Yeah, I know. Okay, 22 tantrums. We are going to Glowbug. We're going to play some of it actually. So they go through all of the Google searches and the timestamps. That's the part we're going to watch first. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you guys. If you didn't join us over in Crime Curious, I shared that on the community page and Melissa's recap too, because she does great recaps. But she played, if you missed it, you should go over there after this and watch it. She played the part where we found out that Letecia had a 3-hour meeting with the defense expert witness, Dorothy Lewis. And I'm really curious how you guys feel about that. I'm not happy about it. I think that I hope that Dorothy Lewis cares about her reputation and wouldn't be like coaching or, I wouldn't think it would be anything like that, but I don't know. Hey, Natasha Rennie, what do you think, Jen? I think I lost her. It's my youngest.
No, you didn't lose me. I was getting something to eat really quick. I was just going to have a quick little bite. I'm hungry. But no, what I think is I don't think that she would risk her reputation. But I have to say that things have been kind of hinky all along the way with this doctor. And you guys really should go check out Crime Curious because she lays down the timeline of Dr. Lewis's involvement with this case and things that have gone on surrounding it during the pre-trials. And I wasn't satisfied, frankly, with the explanation given by the defense attorney.
Yeah, me neither. Did I say they met today? They talked about it today. They met yesterday.
For 3 hours. And I don't understand the need. Why would she have to talk to Letecia? She's only allowed to testify about what her report is about. So she's not counseling her. She's not her psychiatrist. So what? I don't understand it.
Right. I know. It's crazy. Sneaky of the defense, Mrs. O says a lot of people think it's sneaky. The dynamic is quite interesting between her and her lawyers. I don't know. We shall see, I guess. All right, let me go ahead. I've got it right on the Google part. I'm going to start playing and we'll pause along the way. Okay.
Sounds like the plan.
All right. And you can get a bite to eat while we listen for a minute or two.
7.2, 720, 721, and 722. What are these exhibits?
These are Google searches from the defendant's South Carolina phone number 3. 720 spans February 19th of
Ooh,
2020
okay.
through February 20.
Obviously, when I found it, I didn't go back far enough because it's phone 3. But I'm just going to keep playing, and we'll go back in a second just so I don't lose.
3rd of 2020. Exhibit 721 spans February 24th, 2020 through February 26th, 2020. And then Exhibit 722 are searches conducted from February 27th, 2020 through March 1st of 2020.
These all fair and accurate representations of searches that were found on the South Carolina seized phone.
Yes, phone number 3, the South Carolina phone.
So there were 3
Sounds you
phones.
for
She
admission.
had her phone, her original phone, and then another phone that she had got in Colorado, and then this phone, which Crime Curious also commented on that on the live we were on earlier. So I will go back to the first 2, but these Google searches are right before her arrest, the end of February up until her arrest. The other ones are from, even before the crime happened.
These exhibits 720, 721, and 722 as it relates to the South Carolina phone. And then People's Exhibit 703 as it relates to the Colorado phone.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 703, 720, 721, 722 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And permission to publish 703 at this time.
You may go.
Mr. Clark, what I'm going to have you do is start by just orienting the jury to what we're
I
looking at.
so wish the quality was better and we could read that. Also, the lawyers and her are doing the laughing and the giggling, which they were doing like all through these Google searches.
Knowing that the jury will be able to take this back with them to the deliberation room at some point.
Sure.
So starting with 703, tell them about the different columns.
So on the far left, you have the date and the time that the search was made. And this is Colorado time because this is the Colorado phone. And so it's local time. And then on the right, you have the words typed for the actual search.
And then are these, I guess, can you tell the difference when you look at the download of the phone, whether searches have been deleted or whether they're still active on the phone?
Yes. So on this Colorado phone, there was just over 6,400 searches done during this time period of the phone download.
Dear
She deleted about 4,500 of those. So we're left with about 2,000 searches that still have a date and time component with the search. When you delete a search, the deleted search is still saved, but the metadata is stripped from it. So there's no date and time component. And so we don't know when the search was made. We just know that the search was made. And so just to, keep it clean, we are only presenting the searches that we know when they were made.
And then as it relates to the searches that were referenced in Special Agent at the time, now retired, Jonathan Grusing, there were searches that were referenced in his interview. Were those deleted searches that he was referring to?
They were.
And so does that mean that they didn't have date and time stamps for when those searches were actually conducted?
That's correct.
Do we know, though, that those searches were conducted prior to January 29th, 2020, when the defendant's phone was seized?
They were, yes.
Oh, boy.
And
Can I just say
as
that I
a-
never have ever cleared any of my search
2,000
history?
undeleted searches on her Colorado iPhone.
Yeah.
So if
Did
they
all
were
of them
to
have any
if they were to
relevance
dump
the
my
investigations that
phone,
we have on?
I've had this phone since 2021.
First entry.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh
no.
boy. I'm gonna end
Okay.
up on a list. I'll tell you that right now, you guys. I'm gonna be on a list.
Peace Dog emailed the judge about their inappropriate relationship or their inappropriate behavior, which is, I'm glad, but
Wow.
see what he'll think. Okay, so they're on the first entry.
Okay.
What I'd like to have you do is just tell us the date and time of that first entry.
Sure. So the first one we selected, this goes in chronological order. And it's also important to note that all of these were searched at least once. So the first one was January 21st at 9:05 p.m. The defendant searched Landon Marie Hoyt.
Is that Hyatt?
I'm sorry, Hyatt. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just so the record is clear, spell the name.
Landen. Marie is Marie. And Hyatt is
Hey,
Hiott.
Parker.
What is the next search?
Same day, but at 9:10 p.m. So 5 minutes later, U-Haul truck rental.
The next search?
9:12 p.m. U-Haul trucks rates Colorado Springs, Colorado to Orlando, Florida on January 22nd of 2020.
Okay, so they did go all the way back to the beginning. That's what I thought. And now look here. This is the point that they made. And she was searching about getting a U-Haul to go to Florida a week before this happened. You know,
Correct. And that is interesting because it seems to denote an element of some level of premeditation of something. But what exactly that is, I think I have to still listen to the rest of these searches. But what I will say is, if you guys will recall, in her sanity evaluation, one of her stories was that she was getting things in order to leave Albert.
yeah.
And she was going to be moving. She was going to be taking her, she was going to accept that flight attendant job, and that was that. And that she was working with Landon to get the kids, collecting evidence against Albert to get the kids so Landon could have the kids again.
Yeah. Which that's so
which makes no sense because you saw we listened to phone calls yesterday and how she just absolutely and completely dogged Landon out to Al.
Yeah, I know. It to me it makes sense though, because she didn't want to take care of those kids, and I think she would secretly behind Al's back try to get them out of there. And for you guys,
she probably would.
This is Tolini. This is the one on the right of Letecia, Joshua Tolini, and then on the left of her rather, is Will Cook, and this is him. And they both have actually, pretty decent reviews. Oh, Roxanne, thank you. Thank you so much. That was really sweet. They have pretty good reviews. I found a couple bad reviews and a ton of excellent reviews. People who said that they did really great with their cases. So, okay, back to the searches. Pause if there's one you want to talk about, and I will, or tell me to pause, and then I will pause if there's one I want to talk about. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There was a reference in text messages that we went through on the timeline where the defendant said, I should have left last week when I was, do you remember that search?
I do.
Does that coincide with what we're seeing here, that the defendant is searching for U-Haul trucks to go to Florida?
Correct.
And is this roughly a week prior to Gannon being missing?
It is.
Hey, Jen.
The next entry, what is that?
Hello, ladies.
14 p.m. Another search was made, U-Haul truck rates, Colorado Springs, Colorado to Orlando, Florida on February 6th, 2020.
We're just going through and listening to them talk about the searches. I told Jen to stop, let me know if there's anything you want me to pause on, and the same for you. Let me know if there's anything that you want to comment on in these searches, okay?
Okay. And then when you're ready for that clip, I messaged you a link to it.
Oh,
after.
awesome. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
20.
And so the actual date of that search, though, was that January 21st, 2020 also?
It was made a couple minutes after the previous one for the rates on January 22nd.
Are there two searches next that occurred on January 24th, 2020?
Yes.
Tell us the time of each one of those two searches.
7:32 p.m. Jobs, employment in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina using Indeed.com. And then at 8:01 p.m., sometimes you just leave and take, and it's misspelled. It's spelled Notijig. I'm assuming that means take nothing.
God, she had a lot of.
Is that based off the context
Typos.
of the search term?
Yes.
Are there
Even
then now a bunch of
autocorrect would
text
help her out.
messages? I'm sorry, not text messages. Searches on the
No.
defendant's Colorado phone that occur on January 25th of 2020.
Yes.
Tell us the first one and what time that occurred and what it is.
First one occurred at 8:48 a.m. and it's jobs, employment in Los Angeles, California, using Indeed.com.
What's the next one on January 25th?
January 25th is 12:16 p.m. Now this is Saturday, before Al flies to Oklahoma. So Saturday the 25th at 12:16 p.m. Find real military singles was searched.
Is there another search at 12:16 p.m. as well?
There is military dating and singles at militarycupid.com.
What's the next search on January 25th of 2020?
1:40 p.m.
Hang on,
the search was
I got
parenting
something
should be
to say.
4 people, not one.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but Letecia seems quite consumed. I think she's past the point of obsession. She's now consumed with Al cheating on her. Do you think that the reason she looked that up is because she was looking up apps to see if Al was on one of them?
Ooh, maybe so. That would make sense. I had not thought about that. I just assumed it was for her, but I mean, she was Googling Al Stauch cheating in Colorado Springs.
Well, because there used to be, and I don't know if there is anymore, but there used to be like a Facebook page, and there used to be a website too where you could like put up your cheating partner and just run them, just run them through the mud. And if some of those were actually kind of like sad, but also hilarious to read a little bit, because sometimes they would have the person that was cheating plus the person they were cheating with, and then they would comment, and it was So I'm wondering if that's why she was looking that up to see. I think she looking for Al to see if he came up anywhere on Google. Really,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that's definitely possible. It makes sense, especially with the other searches. And you guys, I put it in the chat, but the Nightbot, I have it drop in Jenn's link, Crime Curious, and also Melissa's. They're all covering the case. If you guys don't know about those channels, please check them out. Jenn does a lot of trial coverage. Jenn Liu does a lot of trial coverage. Jennifer, Crime Curious, has been going in person and is writing a book about it, which I cannot wait to read. For those of you who don't know, I think most of you do, but just in case. And then Melissa has a great channel too, where she's been covering, the case, and she does a really great job too. She's been busting her butt to get every detail. So, all right. Pause me if I need to, y'all. Tell me to pause me. Okay.
One.
What's the next search on January 25th, 2020, and what time?
Also 1:40 p.m. I'm over doing all the work for my stepkids and their mom doesn't help.
What's the next search on January 25th, 2020, and what time?
It's at 1:48 p.m. and it reads, if you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are
Wow.
shitty.
So this is why I wanted to do it. As soon as they started, I was like, we need to do this, like watch it, not just talk about it, not just take notes. But 2 days before this is when she was Googling, I'm doing everything for the kids. Or if you're not doing anything for your kids, that is very interesting to me. 2 days before, on the 25th.
But what's also interesting, I think, is who she's directing it at. Landon. She's directing at the absent parent as Landon, but Al isn't there either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And she will bring that up to Al every, in the phone calls and whatnot. But in the phone calls, it's all directed at Landon. Not at, it's very, I don't know. There's something very off about it all.
Yeah, I agree. Law Nerd Amber says, y'all introduced me to Crime Curious and I'm a binge watcher after the live. Oh, you would love it, Law Nerd Amber, because every Thursday she has a guest on, Christopher Welch. He's an attorney out in Colorado. And he's done, it's just been very informative. They've went through so many little questions about what's happening and what's going to happen and stuff like that. And so.
Yeah, Chris is amazing. And he's a lawyer who refers to himself as a true crime nerd. So you're going to love it.
Wait, where did Jen go? Yeah, you guys will love it. Definitely go check it out. And then Jen fell off. I'll just play. Let me know if there's a pause. And yeah, please.
What's the next search on January 25th, 2020, and what time?
What, 1:49 p.m.? My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her lids.
Based on context, what do
Or
you
her lid.
think that the lids actually meant?
Should be kids.
Is it a typo basically on the searcher's part?
Yes.
The next search on January 25th, 2020, what time and what did it say?
1:51 p.m. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raised her kids.
Does that coincide with what we talked about earlier with text messages from the defendants, originating from the defendant's phone, having periods instead of spaces sometimes?
Yes, primarily happens in a lot of the searches with the periods in between.
What is the next search on January 25th of 2020 and what time?
1:54 p.m. One day, some people will wish they treated you differently.
That one right there.
What is the next search on January 25th, 2020 and what time?
7:57 p.m. Find me a rich guy who, wants me to take care of his kids.
What is the next search on January 25th, 2020 and what time?
7:58 p.m. Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid.
What is the next search on January 25th of 2020?
This is at 9:11 p.m. and it's apartments for rent in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Trulia.com.
What is the next search on January 25th, 2020?
9:13 p.m. 1 bed, 1 bath apartments for rent in Fort Lauderdale.
Was she going to share a room
also on
with
Trulia.
Harley?
What is the next search on January 25th?
I guess
2020, and what
so.
time?
9:15 p.m. Craigslist, South Florida jobs, apartments for sale, services, community, and events.
What is the next search on January 25th, 2020 and what
Oh,
time?
shit.
Still 9:15 p.m. South Florida rooms and shares on the Craigslist website.
The next one on January 25th, 2020 and what time?
9:20 p.m. South Florida jobs, in quotes, teacher on Craigslist.
The next search on January 25th, 2020 and what time?
9:47 p.m. Orlando jobs, Disney, in quotes, on Craigslist.
During the course of the investigation, the next search on January 24th, 2020?
9:49 p.m. Orlando jobs, in quotes, manager on
Hold on.
Craigslist.
Hold on.
The next search on January 24th, 2020?
It just struck me. Orlando and Disney, that's all Casey Anthony. That's where she pretended to work.
Oh my God.
I'm
You
going
are-
to need
Yeah.
Jennifer Crime Curious to please get out of my brain because I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was really stalking. I mean, she wants to be Casey Anthony, doesn't she?
Damn, that is crazy. I would not even have put that together. So you guys that's really good. And Melissa said, I always thought she snapped, not anymore after this. And I'm with you there because it's painting an ugly picture 2 days before people are going to feel sorry about what they did to you or whatever the hell. That was eerie. I just don't understand.
Yes.
You know, someday people will wish they treated you differently.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh my God.
25th. Still 9:49 p.m. Orlando jobs, cruise port, in quotes, also on Craigslist.
What did I say?
I think you said 24th.
Okay. And you corrected me to the 25th. Thank you. What's the next search on January 25th, 2020?
9:49 p.m. Orlando jobs, airport, in quotes, on Craigslist.
Based on all these searches for apartments and jobs in the Florida area, to your belief, did it appear that the defendant was trying to look for a way to move from Colorado? And then do we have searches, 3 searches that occurred on January 27th, 2020?
We do.
Tell me the first one on January 27th, 2020.
January 27th is the day that he went missing. Just, I know you guys know, but just to,
12:09
perspective.
a.m. My son, burned the carpet. How,
12 a.m.
do I fix it?
Is there a period between the fix and the it?
There is. I just couldn't see it from this angle. How do I fix it?
Okay,
And
me
then the
again.
next search on January 27th, 2020, what?
Sorry.
No.
That one has always bothered me because she's talking to Google. Does Google need to know that it was Gannon who burned the carpet? I mean, does she have to say, my son burned the carpet? Or is she doing this because she knows people are going to see it? You know what I
Boom.
mean? Because
That's interesting.
why not just Google, how do I fix the carpet? Why does she have to tell Google that Gannon?
Yeah,
Right.
do it.
There's not going to be different directions for your son versus
Yeah.
Right,
anybody else.
Well, I don't know.
right.
She has a history of kind of like placing blame on him and like make it like constantly bringing it back to him. And I don't know. I think that she, that thing that card you sent me today, you guys, if you didn't see it, I'm going to actually pull it over to my messenger too when we watch this video. But that Mother's Day card, if that doesn't crush your soul, the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that
it's heartbreaking.
she's sitting around thinking about how much she hates doing everything for them, and you see that, and oh my God, it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
And don't
But
apologize.
notice he didn't call her by any other name other than a variant of Letecia, which Al
Right.
also calls her Tisha. So,
Everybody calls her Tisha.
correct. So there's no little Lucia, there's no Maria, there's no
Yeah.
Jasmine, no Harmony, none of that.
And also, do not say sorry about pausing, because I want to hear when there's one that stands out to you guys and maybe not me for a reason. So I like it. So yeah,
Yeah,
What
that
is it?
my
What
son
time?
part always bothered me.
1:03 a.m.
that's a great.
Son sick. Can he stay period home?
And then the next search on January 27, 2020, what time?
2:42 a.m.
Wait a minute, I just realized
Craigslist,
something.
Orlando, Florida,
Okay.
jobs, apartments, for sale, services, community.
The third one was okay. Go ahead.
All right. So when earlier in the day, when he was going through the timeline of the texts between Letecia and Al, she had already explained all of this to Al by this point, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Or is it maybe, yes, she had already told him what had happened. He didn't answer her. But then, and now she's Googling about staying home from school. You see, I've been saying this from day one. Whatever happened on the 26th and ended up being finished on the 27th, period. And this is her knowing that she's going to have to, she's up. I think she's checking on Gannon. I think she's waiting for something to happen, and it doesn't. And she realizes on Monday now, she's got to do some more work, for lack of a better word. I don't want to talk graphic because I don't think we can take any, you know what I mean? I can't do it
Right.
anymore.
That's
But
No, I
okay.
agree. I've always thought the same thing. I always thought it was Sunday night. There was a
Mhm.
point that he just couldn't come, that, she couldn't come back from, and people were going to find out, whatever really happened. And there was no explaining it. And so everything that happened the next day, in my opinion, was to cover up whatever happened Sunday night, including Gannon's murder. So,
yes.
I agree completely. And the typos thing, like, to me, that just shows, like, how like when someone's like manic or like not necessarily in the bipolar sense, although not necessarily in the bipolar sense, manic or on ADHD meds, but all jacked up. You know what I mean? Making all the
Yes.
typos and I don't know.
All spun out. She was all spun out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kept getting caught up every time Kevin Clark would say the word period. I'm like, that's why she didn't know dogs had periods, because they were all in her text messages.
When I heard that she didn't know that, I was like, are you fucking
I mean, you Googled every fucking thing else, Letecia. You couldn't
Yeah.
Google that.
Ugh.
Man, I wish she
Any
would have
evidence?
Googled dissociative identity disorder.
I
Yeah.
bet you
And for
that she looked
context
at some
purposes,
interesting
January
videos on
27th.
YouTube and
I
probably
did.
TikTok.
I
What
would
do you
love
want to bet?
to do YouTube search history as well,
Mhm.
or watch
Later that
whatever.
day, the day that the defendant called 911 to report Gannon as a runaway.
Correct.
We have then several searches on January 28, 2020. Is that correct?
There are, yes.
What is the first one on January 28, 2020?
4:15 a.m. What is the process for period hour? What runaway?
When does she sleep? She's up all night. all the time, like almost every night that they talk about. She's up in the middle of the night making phone calls, texting, Googling.
Child.
And the next one on January 28th, 2020.
4:16 a.m. Police steps for our runaway.
The next search on January 28th, 2020.
4:16 a.m. Police steps for period our missing child.
The next search on January 28th, 2020.
This was the 7:17 a.m. one. Find cheap rental car deals on Priceline.
Does this coincide essentially with
Look at
the
them, the lawyers.
defendant renting
They're
that
the
Kia
lawyer.
Rio at the Colorado Springs airport on this particular day?
Correct.
The next search on January 28th, 2020.
At 8:17 a.m. $37 a day compact car.
And then the final search on January 28th, 2020.
12:57 p.m. Can Nintendo find my Switch?
Can Nintendo find my Switch?
And then now do we have two searches on January 29th?
Correct.
Tell us the first search on January 29th as it's relevant to this
Wait.
investigation.
Both were at 2:34 a.m.
Yet again, up in the middle of the night. Yes, Jen Lou.
Okay, on the 28th, that is the day that they went to Starbucks and met the detective, yes? In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Yep, Jessica
this-
Bethel and Riley.
So this search in her phone would have come after they had already been told that, yes, indeed, they could find the switch. They could locate the switch because they asked about that. I remember that whole exchange. So
Right,
so
and that's
because she's wanting to know the process of it. She's not looking it up for informational purposes as in can it be done. She's looking it up for how it's done. She's
Right, that makes
fishing.
sense,
She
but-
wants to understand how the investigation is going to go. You're just the worst, Letecia.
She's done that. She's transparent as hell. You can see right
Oh,
through what
yes.
she's doing. But I was gonna wait until they got to it, but it kind of goes with this. So when they're talking about her searches about the toothbrush and the dental records. Why do you think she did that? Do you think that she thought, oh God, have they found him? Or had she hit, when was that? 2:56. Hold on, let me look at my notes. When it was that she put this in the garage, it was the 28th at 6:21 a.m. So yeah, she had already moved him. Now, why would she be Googling that? Because she's like, they're hiding something from us. Remember, she was texting to the family, or to Harley at least, that they're hiding something and they're asking for his toothbrush and his dental records.
I
Right,
think
they
she
want-
Googled
they
it to
want-
understand the investigation. Oh, sorry, Jen. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was always of the opinion. See, I was one of those people that believed he didn't come back. And when they showed the video from across the street first thing this morning, the Ring doorbell, I thought we were going to be able to see him get out of the driver's side back seat. And they play the video and they're like, yeah, but it doesn't show that. And I'm like, shit. Anyway, I always thought that she had put the body. I always believed that she put him in Palmer Lake between Petco stops. And while there was a lot of damage done at the house, I thought, maybe that's where she shot him, right? And so I was thinking that those searches about the toothbrush and her being all paranoid about the toothbrush is because she thought that they found his body. Because then she goes and gets her Tiguan at 7 p.m. Not exactly, but around 7 p.m. And then she drives to the S-curve. And I always felt like that was her checking on his body. And I felt a little nervous. So remember on redirect today, or not redirect, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Wait, hold on. Now it's been a long day. On Cross. Yeah, on Cross. It was, I think it was Will Cook. So the first thing that he asked about, it was, her being in shackles at CMHIP. And then he asked about the bath salts. And then the third thing that he asked about was whether or not Gannon's DNA or any evidence of Gannon whatsoever was found inside the Tiguan. We know that there was a little spot found on the bumper, but that was explained away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Will Cook specifically, and he only brought up 4 things in Cross. And that witness was amazing, and he was on there all day. And I feel like they're going to come back with something that they're going to try and say, that I don't know, because I've talked to Chris about it, and he's like, well, they would have already hashed that out with motions hearings, if he was in fact killed in Douglas County or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know. I'm still a little bit confused. But the idea that he brought it up on cross when it was only like one of 4 things, maybe 5, that he brought up on cross, I was like, yeah, there was no DNA found inside the Tiguan. And if he was in the storage room on the night of the 27th, and then he was in the Tiguan at the airport all day outside on the 28th, and then she put his body at the S-curve on the evening of the 28th, there would be some sort of something in the Tiguan, right? I mean,
think so,
I don't know.
because, well, there was even blood in the moving van, so you would think so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you would think that there would be.
Right.
Well,
So
that's-
I always thought the toothbrush search was like, oh shit, they found his body and now they're trying to identify him. So she had to go check.
That's what I
Right.
was thinking today,
And
I
then
think
she came
realized-
back, and then as soon as she got back from what I thought originally was checking to make sure that they hadn't. So like she goes up there, she checks and makes sure he's still there. And then she comes back, and then she starts sending all those nasty messages to the detective because now she knows they haven't found shit. I mean, that's what I always believed. But the prosecution seems absolutely sure that he did come back home with her, and he was killed in his bedroom that afternoon. And
yeah.
Well,
And
one
who
of
am
the
I to
things
argue
I'm
that?
curious about is they point to the ADT as their reasoning behind there's motion upstairs and downstairs, but they had 2 dogs.
Right, but they were in their kennels, I think, right?
Well, how do we know that?
Crates. I think that was said at one point, but I don't know. But
I mean, the dog is in one
not
of the
only-
pictures of the crime scene. I
but
mean,
it's
one
not
of
only ADT, they have that shadow there, and there is a shadow. I'm not saying it's him because I also was in the belief he didn't come home, but I did the shadow when they show her getting home that day. When she opens her door, there is a shadow coming from the back side.
Right.
But,
Yeah. So that was People's Exhibit 42. And People's Exhibit 41 was in 2 parts. And that's the one that we all saw on the internet all that time. And then People's Exhibit 42 was the enhanced version of that video. And I was looking for that clip today, and I just ran out of time.
yes,
But I want to look at it again. And I'm not trying to start any kind of conspiracy theory. I just, and I've been trying, whenever they've talked about coming home that day, I zoom in laser focused on her face because I'm waiting for the reaction, When she feels like they're full of shit, she makes it known that she feels like they're full of shit. And I want to see how she's reacting when they talk about coming home. And she was full of facial expressions today.
Yeah, even look at her where we're paused right now. Look at them laughing and like they're
Oh,
laughing
yeah.
and they're going through these damn Google searches. That's enough to piss you off.
Right. Yeah. This is right after he got the laptop from Tellini, and then they're all snuggled in close, laughing and just and then so here's what I do. Anytime I focus in on them like that and what they're doing, like whether it's her mouthing whatever to Harley, or them giggling, or her wiping her vampire wounds on her neck, or whatever it is, or doing like the my nose itches because I'm on a bunch of pills thing. I mean, whatever it is, I always have to catch myself and then go back and watch it again, because I feel like she does that on purpose, whether it's to make us not pay attention to what's being said, or maybe it's to make the jury not pay attention to what's being said. She is a master of distraction.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's got that sleight of hand thing going on, and anytime she cracks her neck, she's pulling some shit somewhere.
So, yeah, something is about to go down, because
like
that's
the monster can.
it's the warm up.
Right.
That's what she does. It's like she's one of, she recognizes the importance of stretching before any strenuous activity, and that's what she does. And I'll say this about did Gannon come home or not come home? The way I took what you're saying as is this: you had one impression of the way that the events went, right? But now court has happened, which is and now we've learned something new. We've learned something different, and why the prosecute. And I think that's important for people to remember. This is why I like to watch trials, because you can have all the theories you want, and you can even think that, when they do let out probable causes and you do see some of the evidence and you think it fits together one way, but then you get to the trial and you realize how it really fits together. And I think that's really a good, important distinction to point out. And I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah. I'm okay with being wrong. I mean, me being wrong usually leads to me learning something. I'm kind of a big fan of that. I mean, I don't have a doctorate or anything, but
No, me either. I got a good enough diploma, but I learn new stuff every day. And I certainly learn quite a bit by watching trials. And I'm wrong too. I'm wrong a lot, but I learn from it every single time I am. Unlike Letecia, who's never wrong and never learns anything and is the smartest person alive.
Right.
Yeah.
And she made a bunch of excuses for why she would have been up there that day in the truck. And it's like, where else could she have gone? Did she, but I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to argue it. It's just what I thought. And, and now we're in the trial, and now I'm seeing, what they're, what happened. It just bothered me that Will Cook brought it up in cross, that there was no DNA evidence found inside the Tiguan.
It's very interesting, especially with only 4 questions. Okay, I can't wait to watch her mouth in the words to Harley, so I sped it up to 1.25. We'll get the rest of these. I definitely want to do a live on just that timeline, because those messages, one of you guys mentioned, like the messages to the law enforcement. Oh, I've got somebody in blue in El Paso County Sheriff's Office that's telling me like what you guys are up to. Oh my God Almighty.
Yes.
Oh, before I forget, I just want to say one more thing. So remember when today they were talking about the fake polygraph? And they showed the notes from her iPhone. I don't know. It wasn't her iPhone 8 because that was already seized. It was phone number 3, which is the one that they seized in South Carolina, which means there's a phone number 2 that they never seized, by the way. They seized phone number 1 on January 29th. And they seized phone number 3 on March 2nd when she was arrested. But there's a missing burner phone that she bought in Trinidad in between those two, which they have call detail records for because they have the phone number. But I don't know, I mean, who knows what those Google searches could have been. But anyway, in those notes, she had the fake polygraph questions written out the way she and Albert had discussed them. But those aren't the questions that were in the actual fake polygraph submission, because not included in today's was, did your son come home with you on January 27th or whatever that question was. But remember, that was in the affidavit as one of the questions that she submitted at fake polygraph. These weren't the questions that she submitted. These were the notes about the questions she was going to submit. And I thought it was interesting how they did that today.
Yes, and I'll say this. If she'd have been on an Android phone and Googling anything on over multiple different devices, burner phone 1, 2, 3, she could have 11 billion. But I can look at my laptop, my phone, my tablet, and I can pull up every single Google search across all 3 of them. They're all synced together because of my Google account.
Right.
So I wonder... I bet you there's a way to access that. And maybe they didn't think they needed to. So they didn't. But now I want to.
Betty Jo says, Alex, can you ask Jenn or Crime Curious if they heard the part where Clark testified and he said something about one of them changing their number after testifying? Was it Letecia's brother or Harley?
Oh, I was thinking actually it was like Aunt Brenda or her mom.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Now remember they haven't pulled Brent. Who else haven't they pulled up? They haven't called Aunt Brenda. Who else is on the witness list that Lena?
Her mom.
And her mom. Now they could on rebuttal.
Amy Lowry, her sister.
I was about to say, what about the sister? Okay. All right. Let's play a little bit more, you guys, and then we'll.
Okay.
We got to get to that Letecia mouth into Harley.
Yes, we do.
And the first one reads, immunity because it was gang related. And the second one is this Greg Hill Associates.com. She read an article about Be careful about being granted immunity and not testifying.
Wow.
And does that immunity theme come up in the recorded phone calls between and Mr. Stauch during those consensually recorded phone calls that we heard testimony from?
Numerous times.
All right. I'm going to switch out the exhibits and move on to People's Exhibit 720.
Look at them. Oh my God. I just cannot believe. No wonder people were like uncomfortable and feeling some type of way. What are they?
Remind us first, before we get started on People 720, the date range that we're going to be looking at for the searches here.
So this is from phone number 3, the South Carolina phone. And it's from February 19th to February 23rd, 2020. There were
She was arrested.
just over 1,300 searches during this time period on her South Carolina phone. We were able to get down to 277 unique searches. And out of those 377, we're going to show you 96 that are relevant to this case.
All right. Do we have, it looks like 5 searches that are relevant to this investigation that occurred on February 19th of 2020.
That's correct.
Tell us the first search on February 19th, 2020, and what time?
1:22 p.m., the defendant searched crime online.
What is crime online? Do you know?
It's the Nancy Grace show for nationwide exposure crimes.
And was there reference to the defendant being in contact with the Nancy Grace show during some of these recorded phone calls that we heard?
Alleged, we don't have any proof that that the defendant spoke with Nancy Grace.
What is the next search on February 19th of 2020?
At 3:49 p.m., Palmer, period.
Damn,
Harold,
Letecia, you
period,
lied on
Colorado,
Nancy
period,
Grace
Springs.
too.
Is Harold misspelled there?
It is. It's HEARLD.
What is Palmer Herald, Colorado Springs?
It's the newspaper up in Palmer Lake area.
Oh, I have a
So
personal issue with that one.
does that indicate to you that the defendant was searching for news in the Palmer Lake
She's
area,
so
which would cover the area where the board was found?
Right.
It was. This is during our search.
pause it because I want to hear your issue. And she's so worried about what everyone thinks about her. That's all she's worried about.
Yeah,
But
so the
what's your-
Palmer Lake Herald was not a newspaper at all. It's a woman that I used to work for who started a Facebook group and who was all the way, in Letecia's business sideways, reaching out to her. They had a lot of conversations back and forth. And in fact, so her name is Darcy Schoening, and she's, we'll call her a piece of work and leave it at that. Anyway, she went on WTAF and gave them like an interview about her interaction with Letecia. And because Letecia reached out to her and tried to get her to take things down off of that Facebook page.
Of course she did.
Right. Which wasn't actually a newspaper, but it was set up to look that way because at the time Darcy was trying to run for city council and she had just lost her liquor license and gotten thrown out of her business establishment. Anyway, none of that actually matters. But
It
that
goes
was
to credibility,
Letecia.
Jen.
Right. But Letecia believed it was a newspaper. And so she was trying to, but it wasn't a newspaper. And Darcy was putting things up there that were absolutely biased and unfounded and not necessarily true. And it triggered Letecia. So in that way, I guess she did a good thing, but a journalist, she is not. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Can I just say this also about Letecia cares what other people think? I think it's a little more complicated than that. I don't think she cares what people think in that she wants to cares if people like her or not. It's more in the am I getting away with it type of situation.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
but she's
not
all-
the
I agree. I don't think, I think it's some of both, but I definitely agree it's that too. And I think that my point is she's only focused on her and how it affects
always.
her. Not Gannon, not Elena, not Al, not anybody else. It's all about Letecia.
Well, now when she wanted she did want her whole ass family protected. Remember when she talked to the FBI? They all were going to need WITSEC.
Right.
Oh, shit.
For me, I think it's control. I think she wants to control what other people think. And if she tells you what to think and you don't pick it up, then, she's going to have to focus in on you because she's in control of everything. That's what threw me off from the beginning. She's trying to make it look like somebody else did this and she's a victim. But yet in every other example of everything that we know about her, it's her controlling situations, opinions, outcomes, behaviors. I mean, she was very controlling. But all of a
Yes.
sudden in this one instance, she didn't have any control and she's a victim.
Right. And everything that and even when she talks about the Al and the kids, the way she talks about it to law enforcement is she's this passive observer. Everything is foisted onto her, and it's out of her. That part of it is out of her control. Everybody's doing everything to Letecia, and she's doing everything for everybody else. You know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean?
Exactly.
Right. And as she's cleaning up his son's murder, she's texting him images of earbuds and allowing him to spend between $69 and $99 of his own damn money. That's how in control she is.
Right.
Gallery looking like a hit squad. Y'all are crazy. Someone else with serious women in the gallery. Sorry, I'm listening to y'all and watching chat too, and the comments sometimes are just.
Oh, I even took a screenshot. I got to get a screenshot together. I'm going to send it to you, Allie, because I was trying to zoom in and prove that wasn't Dorothy Lewis behind Letecia in purple. And it's not. You know, in my opinion, it's not.
Is it this?
But it's that lady that everybody thought was Dorothy Lewis. And
That's not
when I
her.
zoomed in, it's definitely not. But when I zoomed in, these people's faces like morphed. I'll send you the screenshot. It's frightening. I'm like, oh my God, vampires are real.
Demonic.
She pushed that button.
Okay, we're listening to a few more of these searches because this is right pertaining to the case, and then the next time we pause, we'll go watch that because I'm coming back to today's testimony to go over the timeline and stuff. Anyways, okay.
Very interested in lots of local news, monitoring what our investigative tactics were at the time.
And then what is the next search on February 19th, 2020?
7:22 p.m. does text-free show location.
What is text-free?
That's the app that the defendant requested Nicole Mobley download so they could communicate with each other, and where the defendant sent those messages to Nicole Mobley.
The fact that she's searching for does text-free show location, in your mind, does that indicate an awareness of investigative efforts and efforts on her part to evade those investigative efforts?
Absolutely.
What is the next search on February 19th of 2020?
7:43 p.m. How can I make my phone's IP address hidden?
Is address misspelled?
It is ADREES.
Again, similar to that last question, does
Lord
this also indicate
Jesus.
to you that the defendant appears to have some knowledge that she's wanting to hide information from the investigation?
That's correct.
What is the next search on February 19th, 2020?
8:11 p.m. The search was send a fake email.
And then do we have two searches on February 20th, 2020?
We do.
What is the first search on February 20th of 2020?
At 6:51 a.m. How long will fingerprints stay on an object?
What is the next search on February 20th, 2020?
8:49 p.m. I need a fake ID that's legit.
And we have
Sorry.
a bunch of searches on February 21st, 2020 that are relevant for this investigation.
We do.
What is the first one on February 21st?
Yes.
6:43 a.m. Children trafficking to Mexico from and it's misspelled Colorado. It's spelled COLOROSDO.
And does this roughly coincide with references by the defendant in some of these recorded consensual phone calls that were recorded by the FBI, indicating that Jenn may have been trafficked to Mexico?
Yes.
What is the next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:54 a.m. I need a criminal polygraph.
And the next one on February 21st, 2020?
A few minutes later at 7:08 a.m. I need a fake criminal polygraph.
The next one on February 21st, 2020?
7:21 a.m. fake polygraph test.
The next one on February 21st, 2020?
7:35 a.m. Can you get away with fake lie detector? And it's misspelled. DETEXTR website.
Oh my
These
God.
searches for needing a criminal polygraph, fake criminal polygraph, and can you get away with a fake lie detector test? Does this indicate, in your mind, that the defendant had some awareness of trying to evade the investigation in this case?
Yes.
What is the next search on February 21st, 2020?
9:52 a.m. Gannon Stauch, El Paso, searching in landfill.
Was there in fact searches of landfills trying to locate Gannon's remains?
There were.
Was that publicized?
Briefly, if I recall right.
And then what is the next search on February 21st, 2020?
11:26 a.m. Search efforts for Gannon Stauch.
Wow.
The next one on February 21st, 2020?
6:46 p.m. I need, and it was misspelled MEED, to change my look to hide.
And the next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:47
Wash your
p.m.
hair.
face
Nobody will
disguise.
recognize you.
The next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:49 p.m. full face and then change, but it's misspelled CHAMGE.
And the next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:51 p.m. first face transplant woman.
Yeah.
The next search on February
Look
21st,
at
2020?
them.
Also
What are they
6:51 p.m.
doing?
full face
You're
transplant.
being so rude.
The next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:51 p.m. face misspelled FAVE transplant near me.
Fave.
The next search on February 21st, 2020?
Jeez,
6:53 p.m.
Letecia.
full face plastic surgery.
The next search on February 21st, 2020?
6:56 p.m. full face plastic surgery Atlanta.
Those searches, as it relates to this plastic surgery, face transplant, and that sort of thing, in your mind, did that indicate
Face
an
transplant.
effort to change her appearance to evade the investigation?
Yes.
That's right out
This is
of
the next search on
Nip
February
Tuck,
21st.
and there's
2020.
another show that did it too.
7:23
I
p.m.
can't
Meet
remember.
a guy who wants me to move in.
The next search on February 21st, 2020?
7:24 p.m. Find a man with a place to let me move in.
And then do we
Bruh.
have
You can just Google that.
four
and it'll
searches on
pop up.
February
Yes.
22nd, 2020?
Yes.
Idiot.
What is the first one?
9:50 a.m. Change my facial appearance, but appearance is misspelled APPEARMCE.
She
And the next
typos
search
N
on
and
February
M a
22nd,
lot.
2020?
Also at 9:50 a.m. Drastic ways to change your appearance.
Ooh, sunset gaze.
The next search on February 22nd, 2020?
2 minutes later, see what my face will, but misspelled SILL, period, be with plastic surgery.
And the next search on February 22nd, 2020?
Also at 9:52, plastic surgery, Myrtle Beach, SC.
Did this indicate to you that the defendant is still indicating,
Gannon Stauch found.
was he found on February, the investigation?
Yes,
And then we have four searches on February 23rd, 2020.
we do.
What is the first one?
3:08 a.m. Gannon Stauch found.
Was he found on February 23rd?
No.
What's the next search on February 23rd, 2020?
8:24 a.m.
Can we get
replacement
some
passport.
people wrong?
The next search on February 23rd, 2020?
3:15 p.m. Shock from period watching someone get shot.
Is someone misspelled?
Wow.
Yes, it's spelled SOMEOKE.
Shock from.
Is this the first indication that we have?
Wow.
Oh, let me back up a little bit.
Mm.
Gannon's body still had not been found by this time, right?
Not yet.
Is this the first indication that we have of consciousness by the defendant of Gannon being shot?
Yes.
And then the final search on February 23rd, 2020.
5:13 p.m. Face mask that looks real to disguise.
Is that the last search on that exhibit?
Yes.
We'll switch them out and move on to 721.
Does she mean
Oh,
that
so
she's
What
shock?
what is she doing with the what?
Okay.
Oh yeah, because she can't afford plastic surgery without a rich guy. So instead, she's going to get a prosthetic face. Maybe silly putty?
So wait,
My
silly buddy. But okay, what does she mean by this shock from seeing someone get shot? That she's in, like she's having like symptoms of shock or trauma?
No, I think she wanted to look up what somebody looks like when they've seen somebody get shot. Like she wants to emulate their facial expressions.
Oh,
That's how
my
I'm
God.
taking it. What else would you look that up for?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. Is she saying she's in shock or like that's interesting though, Jen? What do you think? Other Jen?
Yeah, I think she was researching it so she could fake it.
Oh my God. I did not even think of that. That is crazy.
She knows that they're coming for her. That it's possible that they will find Gannon at some point. She is at least entertaining that. She's not so full of herself that she recognizes that they are just going to give up looking for him, and she's preparing for her. She's wanting to get a shocked face.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm pulling up our video, but while I do.
Ranges for People's Exhibit 721.
So again, still from the South Carolina phone number 3, February 24th, 2020 through February 26th, 2020.
We have what looks to be 7 searches on February 24th, 2020.
Yes.
What is the first one?
9:14 a.m. GoFundMe, Tisha and Harley support, but support is spelled AUPPORT.
And the next search on February 24th,
boy.
2020.
1:23 p.m. How long does it take to get DNA?
Next search on February 24th, 2020.
1:24 p.m. how long does it take to get DNA from crime?
In the next search on February 24th, 2020,
Also 1:20 p.m. How long does it take to get DNA results from a crime scene?
the next search on February 24th, 2020,
1:26 p.m. How long does it take police to get DNA results?
the next search on February 24th, 2020,
That's
1:39
not
p.m.
Googleable,
How
by
long
the
does it
way.
take
There's
police
no
to get
result for
DNA
that.
results in Colorado?
Did you
and then the
try it?
final search on February 24th,
No, but
2020.
I'm just smart.
9 p.m.
Think about it.
How long does it take
It's up
police to get DNA
First of
results
all,
in Colorado
there's so
Springs?
many factors that go
And
into
then are there
that.
5 searches
Right.
of relevance to this
Change-
investigation
So
that occurred on February 25th
there's no
of
way that
2020?
Google would
There
be
are.
able to
What is the
predict
first
that.
one?
5:49 a.m. Make a security video.
And the next one on
Oh,
February 25th,
geez,
2020.
Alou. Now
Also
she's
at
going to make
5:49 a.m.
videos.
Make a security video past tense.
As it relates to that particular search, in your mind, does it appear that somebody is trying to create what would look like an old security video to throw off the investigation?
And alter it to whatever narrative you want to fit. Yes.
The next search on February 25th, 2020.
4:12 p.m. I need a new social security number to hide.
The next search on February 25th, 2020.
4:28 p.m.
Have this
Apply for a social if I
deliberate
lived
and
on an Indian
calculating
reservation.
person.
And then the final search on February 25th, 2020.
6:56 p.m. Cadaver dog.
And then the remainder of the searches on this exhibit 721, do they all occur on February 26th of 2020?
They do.
All right, let's start with the first one. What is it?
6:18 a.m. Do they check in ditches
Did
under
Fucking
bridges?
them- Oh my God.
The next search
Hold on.
on February 26th, 2020.
These are important, and then we're gonna go to our video. But that one that just I talked over, I don't want to talk over it. Okay.
2020.
They do.
All right, let's start with the first one. What is it?
6:18 a.m. Do they check in ditches under bridges?
Who is
The
they?
next search on February 26th, 2020.
6:18 a.m. Maintenance under ditches
they?
under bridges.
The next search on February 26th, 2020.
6:57 a.m. Can I get a plea with no jail time? The time is misspelled just IME.
The next search on February 26th, 2020.
7 a.m. Criminally negligent homicide in Colorado.
The words criminally negligent homicide, are those very specific words that people familiar with the criminal justice system would be more aware of than regular people in the community? He's a crime analyst, Judge.
Yeah, but I don't know that you would need to lay some different foundation for his knowledge of general community versus, I guess, not general or legal community, I guess.
I'll withdraw the question, Judge.
Okay.
The next search on February 26th, 2020.
10:30 a.m. Can I find a rich guy?
The next search on, I'm not sure what's so funny over here, Judge, but a lot of interruptions coming from my left. The next search on February 26th, 2020.
8:10 a.m.
Pause
Can they
that.
trace
Pause that,
Snapchat?
Allie. We have to
The next-
discuss this. I mean, or we're just going to pretend like that the district attorney didn't call attention to their
And they
joking
didn't
around
even
over
stop.
here.
They
No,
don't even
they-
stop.
they didn't even look up.
Oh my God Almighty.
Yeah,
What are
no,
they
you put a
looking
comment
at?
up on the screen from Sunset Gazing, and I think that was spot on. I think that it's done purposely to cause a distraction, to
Mhm.
distract from these Google searches. They're trying to distract the jury. They're trying to distract us.
Yeah.
I completely agree. So I looked at it says under the law code S 183105, it says a criminally negligent homicide is anyone who causes the death of another person by conduct amounting to criminal negligence. What would that mean though? Because they said that's specific. I want to know what he was getting to. Hold
Leaving
on.
a kid in a hot car.
Okay.
Not,
That
they can charge you. All kinds of stuff falls under criminal. I'm not an attorney though. These are questions
here
for
we go.
Chris.
For real. Criminal negligence is defined as the failure to perceive through a gross deviation from the standard of reasonable care a substantial and unjustifiable risk that death will result from your conduct. To convict you of homicide resulting from criminal negligence, the jury must determine that the unjustified risk was one that a reasonable person would have perceived in the same situation. So, I don't know,
It
but
makes me think of res ipsa loquitur, which just means the thing itself speaks. And that's to prove negligence, but that's usually in like civil cases. Usually negligence is something I think of in civil cases. But I just wrote down criminally negligent homicide. So that will be
Yes.
question
Yes.
number 1 on Thursday.
Oh, I
Good.
can't wait. Oh, thank you, Punksy. Thank you. And then I rewind it about 10 seconds. I want us to watch them as he says that. Watch it.
Okay.
A lot of interruptions coming from my left. The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:10 a.m. Can they trace Snapchat?
The next search on February
Oh my
26, 2020.
8:30 a.m. Colorado closed cases.
Colorado spelled correctly.
No, it's misspelled COLROADO.
The next search on February 26,
Yeah.
2020.
Also at
Even
8:30 a.m.
autocorrect don't like you,
Colorado
Letecia.
misspelled
Uh-huh.
COLROADO. Springs misspelled SPRIMGS. Closed murder cases.
The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:33 a.m. Drug cartels in Colorado
Oh,
Springs.
Amber.
Does this coincide with those consensually recorded phone calls that the FBI was involved with, wherein the defendant starts to introduce the idea that potentially a drug cartel was involved with Gannon's disappearance?
Yes.
The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:48 a.m. Make my phone get a call, misspelled just CAL, from Mexico.
The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:51 a.m. Fake a
An
call,
idiot. She
period.
could have used
From
the
Mexico,
YouTube
period.
for this stuff.
Drug,
Oh
misspelled
my God.
SRUG, cartel.
The next search on
Look at
February
him,
26,
still going
2020.
at it.
Also 8:51 a.m. Fake a call from Mexico, drug cartel.
Let me take the close.
The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:53 a.m. Bluff my call app.
Are you familiar with what that means, Bluff My Call app?
I am.
What is that?
It's an app you can download that makes a different phone number show up on the caller ID of the recipient's phone.
Yeah, that's great.
Is that typically used in your experience to trick somebody into not knowing who is making a phone call?
I've seen it a couple of times in like stalking cases where they use this app or an app very similar to it to mask their number.
My God.
The next search on February 26, 2020.
8:54 a.m. What are some Mexican drug, misspelled SRUG, cartel phone numbers?
The next search on February 26, 2020.
Not
Oh,
listed.
Letecia.
What do they do?
You can
Maria
just-
speaks Spanish and she couldn't even help you out there.
Like you can go to the white pages or yellowpages.com. Cartel.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
Again, Letecia, YouTube would have been helpful for this, not Google. Sorry about
All right.
your luck, Dr. T.
We're gonna take a break from these Google searches and watch this because I need to see this. And they're long, and I should have written them down, but I wanted to watch through them with you guys, and there were so many. I was like, we'll just watch it, and I will save.
No,
my
these are important because A, I wanted to watch it because I missed it, and B, because all three of us have recalled separate instances of prior testimony or prior stories that she's given that tie into these Google searches. So it's important.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this is your video, Crime Curious, of her. Is it Happy Birthday to Harley? I missed it totally. A lot of times I'm not watching while she's, while they're going. So let's see and let me know if y'all want me to stop anywhere.
The power up event, and then we have the scheduled 6-hour ping alert, and the van is still at the Kennewood Suites in Decatur, Texas.
And I should have asked you to clarify this, but on those van schedule alerts, you have in the line, it says
What the hell?
stopped for those different references. Why do you have that word stop there, and what does that mean?
It means it's parked. So we mapped out all of the pings, and sometimes it was traveling on the highway. And when it's traveling, it gives you where it's at and how fast it's going. And so this is just important, showing that it's just parked in the parking lot of the hotel.
Okay. And then moving into February 4th, did they spend the night in Decatur, Texas?
They did.
And then the next timed entry is at 12:22 a.m. What is that?
So we're now into February 4th. It's a Tuesday at 12:22 a.m. The defendant's American.
And then the next timed entry.
That's just parked in the parking lot of the hotel.
Okay. And then moving into February 4th, did they spend the night in Decatur, Texas?
They did.
And then the next timed entry is at 12:22 a.m. What is that?
So we're now into February 4th. It's a Tuesday at 12:22 a.m. The defendant's American Express was charged for $106
Definitely saw
at
Happy
the Kennewood
Birthday,
Suites,
Harley.
located at 1953 North Cross Lane in Pensacola, Florida.
Why is
The first-
the stop at
the
that
first one
Kennewood
was,
Suites
"I
in
love you,
Pensacola,
Harley."
Florida?
Then "Happy
significant
birthday,
for the
Harley."
investigation?
And I don't know what
that's
she
what-
said after that. And I zoomed in on her too to see what she was mouthing. But I'm not. Look at the guy where you paused him back. Look, he's rolling his neck too. He's done with Letecia as well.
Somebody give that man a monster can.
Oh.
No, so
Okay.
I wanted to watch this again because I wondered, is this meant to be a distraction as well? They just so happened to be talking about, being at that hotel when
Yes.
Gannon was dumped over the side of the bridge. And I was really hoping that they would clarify that Letecia went to the bridge and then came back and got Harley. And they just haven't done it. There's been no CCTV footage from the hotel showing Letecia leaving by herself. And I'm not trying to start a Harley conspiracy either. It's just that, when we wrap up these red herrings, I like them to be real tight.
Yes.
And this
And
is
you
just
would
not that
expect
tight.
you would expect that to be there.
Right.
Because how else would they be able to, and I'm not trying to start a conspiracy either, but these are just questions that come up during the trial, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of people felt some type of way. Hi, I'm a lot of people. They were confused about what Harley knew or what she didn't know. No. Did I think she helped like knowingly? No, I thought the chances of that were pretty slim, but I didn't know and I wanted to hear what she had to say. And they made this big deal. The prosecution did, by the way, not the defense, about her going in and giving her proffer with nothing on the table for her, no potential deal, nothing. She walked in there and she said what she said. And you would think that in order to tie that up in a nice bow, the next thing that they would do is show footage from outside of the hotel where it shows Letecia leaving by herself, or a traffic camera, something showing only Letecia in a vehicle, no Harley.
They showed her stopping at a Love's truck stop in Pueblo and spending $8.37 or whatever the hell it was. I feel like it would have been helpful. I'm still, it's not a conspiracy. I just would have appreciated,
Well, yeah, and also this is something that the defense could potentially use.
Right.
Find an immigrant who will admit to a crime. Oh my God.
I mean, they could. This is a hole for the door, or this is a door. This is open the door to a small hole. I can't say why come for the defense to, if nothing else, get rid of the lesser charges with respect to what she did with Gannon's body.
Did you guys notice that when she first started messing with the tissues, Will Cook was picking his nose? I was like, why do you have to stuff it in your shirt? Why don't you give it to Will Cook? He needs a tissue.
Why don't you help your friend?
I was just
if there's a box of tissues within reach, why are you picking your nose?
That's also another problem. What is she even doing with the tissues? It's not like what is she patting dry there?
Vampire bite.
Into her shoulder.
Well, they said they made her. Someone said in the chat, a couple people, including Melissa, that she made herself bleed.
Jeez. Oh, picking at herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's some vampires.
I'm just going to keep it muted so we can talk about it, but watch her because we're watching her, not really listening for what they're saying.
Yes.
I wonder. And if when you're looking at it like full screen, because like when I'm on YouTube, I can close out the chat and then zoom in even further. I'm so glad they finally changed that. When I first started with YouTube, you couldn't zoom in like that. But anyway, when I zoom in, you can see her eyes. And before she starts mouthing whatever, she always looks at the jury and then she looks at the camera. I mean, she's fully aware of exactly what she's doing.
She's putting on a show. She's putting on her show. She's disgusting.
If you slow it, how you gonna lick? You're so gross, Letecia. I wonder if you rewind it to the beginning when she starts mouthing the words, but you slow it down, if we'll be able to make out what she says.
I think the first thing she says is, "I love you, Harley." And I think the second thing she says is, "Happy birthday, Harley." And then I can't really tell.
That's what I mean. After that part, if we slow it down, if we can see what she says.
Here she is doing it again too. And I think that one was "Happy Birthday, Harley" again. I'll slow it down. I'll start it over and do the slow motion for the beginning part. But
I'm going to make one of my Letecia cuts where it's just like Gregorian chant every time she opens her mouth.
I'm going to make her do the thing from The Grudge. I already superimposed.
Oh, her neck. Oh my God.
I already
Oh.
superimposed that part in The Grudge where she's washing her hair and you see the hand. I put that on the back of Letecia's head from the report when she did the interview with the reporter, the local
Oh,
news.
God.
Yeah.
See, that
Yeah.
would mess me up because I've looked at the back of her head so many damn times.
Well,
would
now
really
it's
mess
all
with
I
me.
can see. I messed up. Don't do it. I mean, look, the truth of the matter is watching this trial, ever since I heard those phone calls, I ain't been right. And it's just all downhill from here. So I might as well just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Okay, now it's in slow motion. Oh my God, you're disgusting, lady. You make me sick. Ugh.
I'm pretty sure she also did something with her ear and she either ate it or sniffed it. I can't figure out what. Chris Watts.
Oh my God, disgusting. She just grosses me out so much. Just, ugh. Watching her lick that and
Who knows? Maybe she's been talking to Chris Watts. Maybe he said, "Hey, you really want to drive them people on YouTube
She definitely sniffed it.
do something with your ear and then either sniff it or eat it because it drives them nuts." They've been talking about that in my interrogation video for years. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to rewind that. There she is with her ear.
Superstar.
What I was thinking. See,
I
she's
love
picking
that
the
movie.
earwax. Here we go. Here
Oh
we
my
go.
God, you're a disgusting lady.
She's nasty.
You are. I love
Oh,
that.
there goes Will with the nose. Get it?
Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Okay, now she's mouthing the words. There's the happy birthday.
Give the man a tissue. He's going full thumb.
Ew.
Damn. Did you forget that there's cameras in the courtroom, sir? Oh.
Oh, you're so nasty. Here she right before she mouths that again. Hold on.
Chris did tell me that at least one of her attorneys is watching my Thursday night shows.
Oh my God. Wow. That's quite
Interesting.
If they'll come on, I'm going to invite them on the Thursday after sentencing.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
That would be amazing.
I mean, I'll just
Okay.
have to tell them, never mind the caption contest with your photographs. You know, no
That's
harm,
just-
no foul.
That's just YouTube stuff. Don't worry about that. Everybody
don't worry
does
about
that.
it.
It's no
Yeah.
biggie.
Oh, look at her.
It's a reverse Beetlejuice wedding.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Look at them. Oh, you are just disgusting. And then hold on, Amber sent one too. She said her face morphed and she looked freaky. Ugh. The demon is coming out of her.
I'm telling you guys, every time.
Look at it too. Okay, now Crime Curious sent me this last night, and I didn't share the photo that you sent, but I did crop it. Who posted that one? Her sister too?
Yeah, that was posted by her sister Juju.
So from 2003, when she was a freshman at somewhere. Wow, look at her though.
Why does she look 45 years old in that picture?
I know,
A freshman of what?
1974.
Look, I know this is petty, but I have this theory. I'm telling you, I really think that Letecia has a Dybbuk, which is like a soul. It's human. It's not the same as a demon, but it eats. It devours its human host from the inside out. And if you've ever seen the movie, what is that movie? It's got what's his face from The Walking Dead in it. Anyway, the girl starts to age because the Dybbuk inside of her is that of an old woman, and the girl starts to look old. And I'm telling you, Letecia, Dybbuk. She's got a Dybbuk in her.
Yeah, she's definitely got something in her.
But that's not an excuse, Letecia. We're not going to find you not guilty by reason of insanity. That's
Not guilty by reason of Dybbuk.
That's the Dybbuk is not an excuse.
So look, she was doing this with her hands, but this is a great picture of that lady in the back too. The one you're saying people thought was Dorothy Lewis.
Lewis. Dorothy also has some curl to her hair as well. Her hair's fluffier.
Hey, Sandria Clark. I like your name. That's really pretty.
So I just got a
Clearly, I've
couple of
watched
messages.
that thing that documentary repeatedly, that I know that Dr. Lewis's hair is fluffier than that lady's hair.
Yeah, and it's got such brassy tones. It would be hard to get it that blonde, but
Yeah. So it's got a texture to it. It's got a curl to it.
yeah, so one of the message that somebody just sent me, I'll read it to you. I don't know this person, but they reached out through the website. And it says, you mentioned Dr. Dorothy Lewis's unusual nose, but couldn't describe it. It looks like the noses on the normal and beautiful faces on the Twilight Zone episode, Eye of the Beholder. You know, the no change people. Do you know what she's talking about?
Yes.
She just changed my whole world. She's spot on.
I know exactly what she's talking about. Oh my gosh.
There's Landon in that red. Look, I grabbed some pictures of her notes and stuff from the first part of today, but I'm gonna save all of that for another day because I want to go through that timeline. But there's a picture I grabbed of Al, and there's that red coming through from behind. But yeah, her notes from her iPhone. There's some of them. Let me see. And then that letter. Oh, this is just. Oh,
Good for you, Landon. Good for you.
Right?
Oh, wait.
Okay, I have one more I want to. Oh, sorry.
Well, you can read that, and then there's a question for you on the screen. So whichever way order you want to do it, I was just going to tell you.
Okay, I'll just read this really quick. So this is from Robin. Hey, Jennifer, did you happen to notice at nearly the end of the trial that a juror asked the question about whether the text saying if Harley needed anything, text Gannon phone, because Letecia didn't have hers with her, came from Gannon's phone or Leticia's, and the witness answered from Leticia's phone. Haven't they said all along this came from Gannon's phone, but Letecia sent it? I think the prosecution needs to clear that up right away. Letecia started giggling because she caught it. And I do remember.
Hello?
What happened?
Whoops.
You got muted.
Oh, I don't know where it cut off. But did you guys notice that?
You cut off at I do remember, just like the very end.
Oh, so basically, the gist of it is when they asked the witness, it was a jury question about whether the message came from Leticia's phone or Gannon's phone, the one that said, you know, if I left my phone at home, if you need her, text me.
Yeah.
And he answered that it was Leticia's phone, and this person was just really confused about that.
I know what you mean.
Because all along they've said that message came from Gannon's phone, but that Letecia typed it.
Right, and I think he misspoke. And he, bless his heart, he's had to explain a lot of things, and he's misspoken a couple of times, and the prosecutor usually corrects him. But they might have, because I know what they were asking. They're asking who texted, who do you think texted that message? And we've always all along, because I don't think Gannon ever had possession of his phone after Sunday.
No. That's what I was getting ready to say. And how sick we found out today. Did you hear this, Jen, or was it the part you missed? That when, oh my God, when he was missing, like that first night, she was calling Landon from Gannon's phone.
Yes, I heard that. And I was like, I will say that today was an eye-opening day in both trials, because we knew that these women were absolute evil and complete monsters, right? We knew that. But I didn't know that there was an additional, that they could be more evil. Finding out that Letecia called Landon from Gannon's phone when he was missing was exceptionally cruel.
Yes.
Which is why I say, I think that story that she gave about Gannon and her, right? But it was intended to hurt Al. Was for the exact same reason. She is exceptionally cruel. She's a cruel woman.
She wants to twist the knife
Yes.
a little bit. 22 Tantrums wants to know, Crime Curious, what you think about the jury. Like what your impressions are about how they're taking in the information when you see them in person and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, now I mean I haven't been there for more than a week now, but
But
when I was there last, they seemed more human to me. And for the first week, it was like they were robots. I mean, there was no reaction. They were very stoic. But after that second week, we started the Monday with the autopsy photos that they showed on the internet. And then the following day, we started with her brother, which was very emotional. After that, I started seeing eye rolls. I started seeing reactions. And to me, in my opinion, they were not buying the bullshit.
good.
So that
Good.
made me feel good.
Because Allie and I have been talking about that quite a bit, Jen. I mean, I'm of the opinion based on the opening state. Well, first of all, before the opening statements, when her attorney asked for it to be a bench trial versus a jury trial, and the judge
Mhm.
was like, no,
It's
because they
easier to
didn't.
manipulate one person
Yeah.
who can't show emotion.
Yeah.
The jury's
Exactly.
going to, they're going to be emotional. And
Which
with a
is,
judge, she might be able to get away with a technicality.
yeah, but I think that the with the not guilty by reason of insanity, that's a dumb move because the judge is in the best position to understand exactly what that means, and he can
Right.
and interpret. That's what her whole case hinges on. She's stupid to ask a juror. A jury, it would be easy to confuse a lot of. I didn't understand the finer points of it, So that, but I feel like anyway, but then when he gave his opening statement, he was, saying, we just want to be heard, just give us a chance or whatever, because they used up all of their strikes, and we all heard, well, we didn't all, but I know you and I, because we talked about it, the jury selection, that the thing that was most prevalent and brought up in the groups in the beginning was this not guilty by reason of insanity. They weren't buying it then. But this group promised to listen, at least be open, at least have an open mind. I think their minds after these Google searches have shut.
Oh, I mean, I would hope so. And I want to get your guys' comments on this comment on the screen and then read about this card. But it says, can we speak for a moment about Letecia texting Al from Harley's phone as Harley and how he tried to still be there for Harley, telling her he loved her and she was welcomed home. But T ruined that.
No, we can't speak about that. Sorry.
Well,
I mean,
it's sad for Harley, you guys, because after hearing her on the stand and knowing, I don't know. I hope that they're in communication now.
I hope that I hope they heal from this, because I think there was a lot of, the whole time that throughout their relationship when they were actually a couple, but during this time as well, probably more so than ever, of Letecia inserting herself or straight lying to Harley about what Al had said. I often wonder if, obviously she knows better now, but back then, if Harley was under the impression that Al just kicked him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think Letecia would love to she involved Harley a lot in this and loved to keep her tied in with it. It's just awful. But on the screen is a Mother's Day card that Crime Curious sent me that she got it from Over Here True Crime. I tagged her in a community post today. But you guys, I wanted to read this, and then this upsets me, especially even more after today, because we see how she was talking about Gannon and doing everything for these kids and blah, 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 blah. And this is what he's saying about her. To Tisha from G-Man, happy Mother's Day. I love you, Tisha, so much. You are the best stepmom ever. I'm so happy that Daddy met you. What can I do without you? Tell Daddy I love him so much. Love you. What can I do? Oh my God, that just...
Yeah, it's awful. And
It's awful.
so this was Defense Exhibit B. Defense Exhibit A was that stupid selfie with her duck lips with Gannon and Lena that she
Mm-hmm.
took on the hike.
Yep.
That was Defense Exhibit A. And or no, I'm sorry, I might have that backwards. This might have been A and that might have been B. I can't remember.
I'm gonna grab that because I have it
I
pretty
can't
close.
remember all the things. That's why I write them down. But anyway, when Al was on the stand, and Tellini first did the cross-examination, I expected them to like go hard at Al, but they didn't really. But they did some like subtle jabs. And one of the things was when they showed Albert the picture of Letecia and the kids,
Mm-hmm.
he just accidentally left it on the stand with him. And Al was like, Mr. Tellini, you can have this back now. I don't need this, Mr. Tellini. You know, and then they did,
Yes.
That photo,
and then he
Jen.
did something similar with this Mother's Day card. And, you know, Tellini was like, is that Gannon's handwriting or something along those lines? And Al was like, you know what? I haven't seen Gannon's handwriting in like 3 years, Mr. Tellini. So
Oh.
I really couldn't tell you if that's his handwriting or not. And
Oh,
it was in
wow.
regard to this image, I believe. So,
Oh my God.
you know,
See,
I have
see,
a
and
whole
those are
different
subtle
take on
jabs.
that. I have a
They
whole
are-
Yeah.
different take on that Mother's Day card. Do you know what it reads to me like?
what?
Hmm.
It reads to me like the last Mother's Day card that Gabriel Fernandez made his mom,
And I don't
and
know
the
that one.
things that
That
he
case
said to
like
her. And
that.
he
Melissa
said those,
was saying that. I don't know that case like that. What did he?
well, she was horribly abusive to him, and he died as a result of it, her and her boyfriend. And the Mother's Day card was similar in tone. It was, I love you, you're the best mom, I love you so much. You know, it's like a plea from them for this. I think that I don't know another way to say it. I don't think that Letecia started tormenting Gannon on January 26th, 2020. I think he was always her target. I don't know that it always was physical, but I would bet a lot of money that it was emotional for sure. And it seems to me like the words that he chooses are important. Happy Mother's Day. I love you, Tisa, so much. You are the best stepmom ever. I'm so happy that Daddy met you. What can I do without you?
Oh.
Tell Daddy I love you. This is like this is stuff that, you know, you hear her talk in her Sanity interview about Gannon would say and express love and affection for Landon or want something, and that Letecia would take the opportunity to remind him, well, maybe your mom could get that for you. Oh wait, she's got to get her nails done.
Yeah. Mm.
Those subtle jabs. And this is him trying to say to her in his own little sweet 11-year-old way.
That is so sad. And Daddy, I love him. I'm assuming, Parker, he was with his mom at that time and just sent a card. Is that what happened? Crime Curious, or the tell Daddy I love him so much? She said she's confused by that.
I'm not sure. The only background I really have on this is that it was posted by Letecia's sister, like in one of the Facebook groups.
Okay.
Maybe it was at a time when Al was like off training or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, he left this for her. This isn't like, this looks like it's written on like notebook paper, like a note he wrote for her.
Is
Do you
it
know
though,
what I
or is
mean?
it a card? Because I was wondering that too. Like
It looks like I can see lines from a notebook paper.
you'd
Oh,
see
see, when I
lines.
see the lines, I see lines like linen, like a card.
I see like a grid.
Oh, see, I see like notebook paper, but like maybe a hand, like something he made. It's handwritten, obviously. But I'm sure it came with the little Mother's Day something. Like, you know, I have one that from my oldest son. He like they used shoe polish, I think it was, and tape, and they put it around a mason jar, and there's a bunch of paper flowers, and it looks almost exactly like that. I love you, Mom. It's a little boy handwriting, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And, something like that.
Maybe it
Maybe
was
construction paper or something.
I
But whatever.
definitely see what you're talking about, like I see lines and I see what
Yeah.
both talking about. I see kind of lines both directions. It looks like, so I don't know, but I get what you're saying. It's
But
just
whatever it was, the tone to me is basically Gannon, in his own sweet way, trying to reassure the adult and build her up and make
Yeah.
her feel special,
Mm-mm-mm.
not the other way around.
Well, remember, Al testified to the fact that, Gannon really loved his mom, was a mama's boy, and he also had some of that love for Tisha too. And, and I think Gannon, oh no, where'd Jingo? I think he's so, I don't know. You can tell he's a very loving, sweet, soft child. It's sad.
Yes, it breaks my heart because let's say that's not what it was. Let's say that he just wrote down his feelings for Mother's Day. Okay. Although I have to tell you guys, of all 4 kids of mine, none of my kids have ever told me that I was the best mom in the whole wide world. They've all told me how much they love me. I've never, now my nephews will tell me that I'm the best aunt. But that's a joke because I'm their only aunt. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a joke between us. Like I will tell them that they're one of my 2 favorite nephews. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a family joke. But I feel like there's just something pleading in that to me, from him to her. Do you know what I mean? Like, stop picking on me, bitch. I like you. Stop
sad.
making an issue. You know what I mean? I'm obviously.
And then to think about her saying that she got along with him better than Lena, that's even more terrifying.
Exactly. What did Lena go through?
Yeah.
If Gannon was her favorite, look how he ended up.
They did say today she did do a forensic interview, but they didn't get into it. Did y'all catch that part when he asked, did Lena do a forensic interview? He said yes. How old was she at the time? 8. And then he moved on.
No, I missed that.
I felt like the reason he asked how old she was at the time, because they were also talking about Harley being right there and how she was a minor and she was around all the men, and that's when they came and got Lena. So I felt like the way that he said it, I mean, it was just very pronounced. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was a half a dig at Letecia's minor female daughter. Like, well, Lena didn't have a problem with it, and she was 8.
Right. I have a question for Chris before I forget.
Okay, let me get my pen.
Okay.
Halo effect. I remember that. I remember something about that. Is it on like her YouTube channel or somewhere? The video that she made about how great her mom is?
Yes.
Okay, go, Jen.
Okay. Can they introduce Lena's forensic interview as a way of Lena testifying without actually putting her on the stand? Like, could they have the person who gave her the forensic interview call that person to the stand, have him or her identify the thumb drive or however they have it, right? And play the first few seconds and say, is that you? Yes. Is that Lena? Yes. And then that is a way to introduce what Lena saw, what Lena heard on those very important, critical days, especially because there was time she was away from, she was alone with Letecia, in lieu of having an 11-year-old on the stand.
Yeah, so he's already answered that, and they can do that.
See, yes. See,
Yeah,
I'm so glad they can do that. Because I don't want them to put Lena on the stand, but I think it's very, very important for them to hear this. The jury needs to hear this forensic interview because Letecia references it in her sanity evaluation.
Look at Gannon's picture, you guys. He's so stinking cute.
He's so sweet. And she quotes it incorrectly. And she says Lena says something she doesn't say. And I would like for them to put it up on rebuttal. But I'm glad we're talking about this over here, and I'm not asking this question or having these thoughts on Thursday when we know that when we know that her attorneys, because I ain't trying to help them.
Right.
That's crazy that they watch one of them. That is freaking weird, but cool. But oh my gosh.
I would watch if I were an attorney. I would want to see.
I know.
would
I
too.
probably
Want to
would
know.
too. This is
I
my
would want to
favorite
know.
picture of Gannon. Look at him. Oh my
Oh,
God.
look at him. That's my favorite too. I think of all the pictures of him. He's so happy and he's just
Yes.
such a little chunky monkey boy. He's
Oh, I'm
just
gonna send you my
100%
favorite
boy.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send me your favorite. I like this one too, just because he's like, I don't know, so baby faced in it. And but
Yes.
there's baby face Al.
I like when they grit their teeth together and smile real big like that. Little boys do that way more than little girls do that. My boys used to do that. Gannon he looks a lot like my youngest son with the dark eyes and the dark hair. He's just an adorable, sweet kid. And there's something about him. I told you guys this before. Some people's light just shines a little brighter. And Gannon is one of those people. His light just shines a little brighter. He's just one of those special souls.
He does. You can just see it in his eyes. They light up. It's just. But
Letecia has shark eyes.
The attorneys are one of the attorneys is watching Crime Curious's channel, who's been going in person. She's writing a book on it. And also she has another local attorney from Colorado that comes on and answers questions about, court and how things work or how just everything. You got to go check it out if you haven't.
You have to, because he explains things, you guys, so well that anybody can understand, and he's very relatable in his explanations. Without he doesn't. It's not like when he's explaining it, he's in any way condescending. He's very genuine, and he just explains it in just a way that everybody can understand. He just really simplifies it. Where I'm over here giving Miss America answers, and I'm not even a damn attorney.
Look at this one's Crime Curious's favorite. It's so cute. I love this one too. Hold on, it's all the way. And then the X on the head, but look at him.
Oh,
God, he's so pretty.
oh.
I love that picture. That's great. I was asking her today, are you going to put like pictures and stuff in the book? And she said, yeah, and illustrations. That's going to be really cool to see. I wonder if there will be anybody who tries to do court sketches of it, even though it's televised. You still do see that from time to time.
Yeah, you do. The one thing that I think is missing just a little bit from this trial that has really nothing to do with the actual guilt or innocence phase of the trial is I wish we knew more about Gannon. I wish that when Al was testifying, it was more about who Gannon was, right? Instead of him having to testify for 87 hours about these damn ass calls with Letecia. Do you know what I mean? I just wish we knew more about him. I wish that was allowed in a trial. And I know that when there's victim impact statements, that's going to come. But I wish that it came where the jury could hear it too. It just makes me sad,
Yeah, it is sad. Well, just the fact that he wanted to be a YouTuber melts my heart. And then we found out that he likes actually Mario more than Sonic, which is interesting.
Yes, which I also like Mario, which, we have that. And I like YouTube too. See, I'm like an 11-year-old boy and I have the same sense of humor. No, he just seems such a sweet kid.
He does. We don't know why our head's like that. It was from her. What was it? It was the sanity evaluation with Dr. Torres, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she have some kind of other? I can't think of a procedure that you would have that you would need to have an X shaved into your head, though. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to really make a loophole for you, Letecia. This is the one and only time I'm going to do it.
X marks the spot. I can't believe
that's where the crazy lies, right there.
She Googled
that's the evil
from getting shot. I still can't get over that. That's like, oh, you're such an evil bitch.
A plotter. She's such she is a she
no
plots.
Walmart Amber. It was in the video in court. It was. I promise.
It was, yeah.
That's where it came from.
That's a
lot of
straight up screenshot.
she leans her head down in one moment and it's in there, or a
Yep.
couple times. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a
I
straight
mean,
up screenshot.
but don't feel bad because I missed it too until someone told me. Because a lot of times, like I said, I'll listen and not watch. I'm taking notes, and I've got kids and other things going on, and so I won't see every second. And people are like, "Did you see what was in her hair?" And
I
then
missed it too. I missed it too. I
uh-huh.
missed it too.
So
I can't believe I can't, some of those Googles are just,
I know.
I can't even believe,
The
you
bridge.
know.
I know. Well, hey,
I mean,
that
maybe
bridge-
it's because she carries around so much audacity that her hair had to make way, and that's the shape it happened. I don't know.
well, look how much that bridge Google, like that one particular one proves about her Googling about
Yes.
under the bridge.
Because we wanted to know. Remember, we talked about this. How much water was there at the time? Did she hear a splash? So
Yeah.
if with that Google image or with that Google search, now I'm kind of wondering if she didn't. And she,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
she didn't want to just, drive around like that. She'd already driven 1,000 miles.
I
with
totally
him.
agree. She had to have with that Google search, them cleaning under the bridge or checking. I think you're dead on because it just makes sense. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she expected it to still be there. She didn't think it was going to disappear forever into the Gulf of Mexico. She
No,
expected it to be
I
there and
thought
be
that,
found.
yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. I thought maybe because like places like that in Florida, the water, if there's water around, it will fluctuate. The level will, right?
Right.
And so what I was thinking is because she kept talking about him being in Mexico, that where she was at, I mean, it does feed into the Gulf, and maybe she thought that it would go in the Gulf of Mexico, but now, nope. And see, that's something that I was dead ass wrong about.
She posted, oh my God, that video of him jumping into the water when he's missing. She posted on social media him jumping into the water and like waving as he does. And it was almost like she was taunting, like you were saying earlier, like she's trying to turn that knife a little bit. She was taunting Alan Landon.
Letecia behaves the way many serial killers do with the taunting. She taunted the police and she taunted the parents of the victim. There was a murderer who did that too. He would call the mother and taunt her, and he also called, she had a sister, and they looked I can't remember if they were twins or if they just looked a lot alike. But he would call and want to speak to her sister. He had his victim write a letter to her family saying that she had run off and married this guy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of, I had never heard that he had written, I heard today that he wrote a note in his notebook that said, "I'm sorry about last night," or something like that.
Yes. I'm sorry about the carpet. He wrote, yes. That's something she texted to Al, that he left a note.
Oh my God. I missed that. That was in the timeline with the messages though, I assume. So we'll go back through that, oh my God. That's why I love to go back and watch some of it, because you don't hear everything. It's just impossible, especially if you're focused on one thing, there's so many mind-blowing things that come out one after another. But I was just interested in the fact that he didn't actually speak to Al at all after the candle incident.
Yeah, because there was that whole thing we watched when we talked, last night when we were listening to that call, and it's unclear because they talk over one another, and then her phone is like tired of her and cuts out.
Yep. Oh man, that was so sick. Landon made her take it down, and she kept a blue blanket of Gannon's with his blood on it in her vehicle when they arrested her in South Carolina, in the suitcase. Yeah, I have that photo close to the end. Let me pull it up. And then I was gonna let you guys go. I'm getting tired. I know you guys are tired. These are
and we have Dr. Lewis tomorrow, and I'm debating. Part of me wants to stream because how can I not?
I
But
think
the
you,
other
Right.
part of me is like, wait and then talk all the shit at the end of the day. But I don't know if I can. I feel like I can't contain it. And Alice the cat is tired of me talking so much shit to the TV. So I think I'm going to stream it tomorrow, you guys.
well,
Okay.
I think if
I'll
you
come on
do,
in.
yeah, me too. I think that's be
Okay.
good to have it on your channel, just to have it say like the testimony from Dr. Lewis.
Yeah,
along with-
because I'm going to need to process it. So I'll probably make some snarky comments here and there because I think it's absolute poppycock. Not that I don't believe in that diagnosis. I just don't believe that she has it. And I don't think she was insane at the time of the crime, period. That's it. But I am interested in it and I will need to vent. So I'll just use YouTube to vent like everybody else does.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's why I couldn't wait to go live after today.
yeah. I'm so glad you did too, because I missed, like I said, like Ichamel started right when they started, like when the jury came in, pretty
Yeah.
much.
See, I was in the shower when it happened. I was listening and I hollered, "What the fuck?" Oh, I was so mad.
Oh my God.
Oh, I was so
Oh,
mad.
all right, you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm so thankful that y'all came on. It was fun to go through all of this and like we always do. Try to laugh at her craziness, because this is heartbreaking. I mean, if this doesn't do something to your soul, then are you even human? Because it has rocked my soul to the
I wish
core.
we could find a way to prevent this from happening again. I wish there was a way to spot these people.
Well, I think
You
that's
know?
part of like why discussing it is important too. I think because of
Yeah.
that, you have to
Yeah.
talk about their behaviors and the way, like getting it the way their mind works, and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, I'm wondering why they're putting Niederhauser up first tomorrow. Because isn't Niederhauser the one that she saw in Fort Carson, where she wanted to quit her job and she needed a medical excuse to do so?
I feel like
Gina,
that's
she's the one that
correct.
yeah. So can we just skip that? I mean, let's just get to Dr. Lewis. We don't need
Right.
Niederhauser.
What does Niederhauser have to do with anything?
Right.
Your plea doesn't hinge on Dr. Niederhauser. It hinges on Dr. Lewis. It must be brief. I bet it's going to be a brief testimony. I bet it's not going to be much.
Do you see Allie just split into two personalities?
She sure did. Here we go. It's begun.
My neck, I did the neck crack and everything. And
Oh God. Oh.
I hope you did go subscribe.
Absolutely
to,
not, law
Crime
nerd Amber. I will stream it. You can cuss in my chat. Because this is what I'll do. Because YouTube doesn't like it. So guess what Jen Lou will do? I will not allow live chat replay. Bing bang, problem solved. Everybody gets to vent. Nobody gets punished. Woohoo!
Beautiful.
is funny. And then Law Nerd Amber, don't forget to go check out Crime Curious's channel. You guys, other people too, and watch those Thursday night shows, because they give a lot of information. They're very interesting. Yeah, and thank you guys for all being here. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow in Jenn Lou's. And then,
Yep.
we'll too somewhere.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
you
Bye.
guys.
And thank you, moms. I love all you guys. I really do. And I appreciate you so much. And have a good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye, everyone.